257 players have been selected to go to the NFL, but there's still a number of guys that are still available that did not go drafted. So today we're going to be going through the top 10 players who are still available after the draft. Some pretty shocking ones today. So if you guys enjoy NFL draft content, leave a like and subscribe if you are new. My draft grades are up. My biggest reaches, my biggest steals are up. We've got a ton of stuff coming. And a major announcement is coming very soon. So ring that notification bell so you never miss out on it. But guys, let's take a look at the top 10 undrafted free agents available after the 2024 NFL draft. To kick things off, it is Leonard Taylor, the defensive tackle from Miami, a top 100 player in the class for me. This is very surprising to me that he fell this low. If you go back and look at his tape, particularly from 2022, he was absolutely dynamic as a pass rusher. He was a guy that I thought could have been a first-round pick at some point here because his pass rush upside is absolutely ridiculous. He's got great size, great quickness off the line of scrimmage. The problem with this, Miami ended up playing him out of position. They wanted him to play nose, and his run tackling and run stuffing ability is not up to the level of some of these other defensive tackles. He's still an excellent player and a player that I think a lot of people were sleeping on throughout the whole draft. The fact that he didn't even get drafted is very interesting. Makes you wonder if there's maybe some character issues there. Obviously, we have no idea what's going on, some medicals, but Leonard Taylor, talent-wise, should have been drafted. I expect him to be picked up very quickly, and I think he's going to make some noise at the NFL level. I think he's a very talented player, and it is very shocking that he did not get selected. Another player that was a top 100 guy for me was safety Bo Braid from Maryland. The ESPN broadcast was talking about it. How in the world did Bo Braid go undrafted? This is one of the smartest football players that I think I have seen at the safety position. Very smart. Finished as a top 5 safety in this class for me, and he didn't even get selected. The upside with him is tremendous. I think he's got good size. He reads plays. He's a good tackler. Maybe his athleticism and his speed is not up to par with some of these other guys, but he definitely should have gotten drafted. There were a lot of safeties that did get drafted, including 2 to my team, the Colts, that I would have rather had Bo Braid over. I think he's a fantastic player. He's very smart. He's a good tackler, and he's very good in coverage. And it's pretty interesting that he is still on the board after the draft. Dwight McGlothan, I shouldn't have to say. He's 6'2", has incredible length, size, speed at the position. Very good in zone coverage. Had some very good baiting plays against Jayden Daniels. No way should he have not gone drafted. He is way too talented to have not been selected by anybody. I think he's going to get scooped up very quickly. He's got the size and the quickness that you desire. Was a top 15 corner in this class for me. I really like this guy, top 100. Arkansas wasn't great, but Dwight McGlothan was a bright spot for this team. I think he's going to be a very nice impact player if he's picked up, and I think he's one of the better undrafted guys out there. Jaylen Coker. It's a weak tight end class, and we saw A.J. Barner go at 121. Jaylen Coker should have been selected. He has a lot of tools you really look for. Now, he is an older tight end prospect, so that, on one hand, it makes sense, but he's a very good receiving tight end, and he graded out as my 5th best tight end in this class. He's got what you look for as a receiver. Doesn't create a ton of separation, but he wins those 50-50 balls. He's got strong, sure hands. He's a good football player, and it's interesting that he went undrafted here. I think he's going to get scooped up. I thought a team like Cincinnati was going to take him. They took 2 different tight ends over Jaylen Coker. It's going to be interesting to see where he ends up, but I think talent-wise, he was a 4th or 5th round guy. So, again, with a lot of these, there's probably something going on that we don't know about. But Jaylen Coker should most certainly have been a drafted player, and he's still on the board, so I hope somebody goes out and gets him pretty quickly. Curtis Jacobs, a linebacker that I wasn't the highest on, but one thing you can't deny when it comes to Curtis Jacobs, his ability in coverage is some of the best in the draft class. He's super smart. Now, he's not a great pass rusher. He's not super athletic, but man, can Curtis Jacobs cover. And he's got a lot of upside to be one of the better coverage linebackers from this draft class. He is still available post-draft. I'm going to be curious to see where he goes. He's playing against the Big Ten, was a huge piece to that Penn State defense. Yeah, not the most athletic, did not test out very well at the combine. But when you turn on the tape, his ability in coverage is some of the better coverage. Like I said, he's one of the better coverage linebackers in this draft class. He's got the size, got the length necessary to be a starting linebacker at the NFL level. I think he's going to be scooped up pretty quickly. Another guy that went undrafted was Blake Watson. I wasn't the highest on Blake Watson. I think he finished as my running back 15. I know some people are a little bit higher on him. This guy ran a 4.3. He's very, very fast. At least with the kick return rules, I thought he had a chance to get selected because I think he is going to be a dynamic force for somebody. We saw guys like Devon Achane have some success last year. I think he's very similar to Achane in terms of he can just hit that top speed super quickly. He's got solid vision and is a better receiving running back than I think we give him credit for. I like Blake Watson quite a bit. I think obviously running back has become less and less important as a position, but I think Blake Watson provides something that some of these running backs don't provide, and it is blazing speed. I think he's going to get picked up rather quickly. I love what he offers as a runner, and he's a strong runner too. He does a pretty good job of fighting through contact. I like what he's going to be able to be, and I'm surprised he didn't get drafted. Another guy that I was a little surprised that didn't get drafted was Jaylen Coker out of Holy Cross. Now, you probably don't know a lot about Holy Cross, but Jaylen Coker, every single time he was obviously the defense's number one opponent, he knows how to get open and he's got strong hands. Had a very good showing at the Shrine Bowl. Was a guy that some people are like, oh yeah, he should hear his name called because he's going to get higher than you would expect a Holy Cross receiver to get taken. I remember seeing tweets about that after the Shrine Bowl. He's talented. He's got a lot of tools. Receiver was so deep, it makes sense why he fell in this class. But I liked him more than some of the receivers that were taken. He was right on that tier with Ryan Flournoy for me. And I think he's got the upside to be a very solid receiver at the next level. And I think he's underrated, and it's pretty impressive that he's still on the board. Another guy that I'm surprised went undrafted, Garrett Greenfield from South Dakota State. This is a team that we talked about it. I have a prospect spotlight about him. We thought he could go in the 5th round. Very underrated, incredibly experienced. Now, I think he's a bit older and the polish in his game, not all the way there. But his upside is there. He showed a lot of really impressive tools for the Jackrabbits over the last few seasons. We saw Mason McCormick get picked at about 119. Garrett Greenfield, I thought, was not going to be too far behind him. Very athletic, very smart player, very productive for the Jackrabbits. Ends up falling out of the draft altogether. It was a heavy offensive tackle class, so similar with Jaylen Coker. I think it makes sense why he went undrafted. But overall, I thought he was better than some of the tackles that were taken. I thought he has more experience than some of these guys as well that you could have molded into something. So it's interesting that he's still available. Another guy that I can't believe did not get drafted is Gabe Hall. Had an incredible Senior Bowl. He was super powerful, super quick. I thought he should have gone in the 4th round. He's got incredibly quick feet. He's got good hand placement, and he's powerful. Now, he is a little undersized, but he's got an 84-inch wingspan. He's exactly what you look for at that defensive tackle position, and he didn't even get drafted. Very intriguing, similar to Leonard Taylor. I think this defensive tackle class, people were sleeping on quite a bit. Gabe Hall definitely should have been drafted. He was better than some of the guys that were taken ahead of him, and he's going to be a force at the NFL level. And that's it. Those are the top 10 players that were undrafted this year. Let me know if there's anybody that you guys think I missed that you thought should have made this top 10. Leave a like, subscribe if you are new, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Adios.